Hey, listen.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Hi, my name is Allison. Long time no see. Honestly, I have not sat down to film or even just picked up the camera to film a vlog in a very long time, and we're gonna get into like a little bit of why that was. But just to kind of like get back into the groove of things, I figured I could turn on the camera while I do my makeup and talk to you guys, and we could catch up and get back on the same page. And then also, I don't know, maybe you can learn a thing or two from my makeup routine. I have not been doing a lot of makeup lately, honestly. It's like still really hot in Texas. I know we're heading into fall, but it still feels like 100,000 degrees outside. I think it's like only like 98, but I went outside earlier and it's still really hot. So my makeup is not that heavy because I don't like wearing a lot of makeup when it's hot. And honestly, just like recently, I feel like I've only worn makeup maybe like once or twice in like the past month. So yeah, we haven't really been doing a lot of makeup around here, but I'm gonna put my hair back. I just have like this pretty hair tie that I got from, I think it was Zara a couple of years ago. Actually 3 years to be specific, but yeah, I'm just gonna use that to put my hair in the back so that my hair is out of my face. And as usual, I have a little mirror right in front of me down here, so if you see me looking kind of like down here as I'm doing my makeup, that's why. Usually when I want my makeup to be really light, especially in the summer, I usually use the Rare Beauty foundation, but I've been wanting to use my NARS foundation a little bit more, and I saw a video, I think it was like Makai doing her makeup with the NARS foundation, and it just reminded me like why I fell in love with it in the first place. So I'm going to be using that today. That's probably like the only thing I'm changing around. If anything else is different, of course I'll let you guys know. Alrighty, so I'm actually going to start out with my eyebrows. Nothing much has changed with my eyebrows, even though I do want to change up my like eyebrow routine. And if you guys have anything else that you use for your eyebrows that you like, please feel free to like recommend it to me. That's not the ABH Bro Gel, because I don't know, I just kind of feel like I want to try something new, but I just don't know exactly like what to try. I had picked up, I think it's Urban Decay if I'm not mistaken. It was their brow pencil, but it's okay. I wasn't really crazy about it. It was not pigmented enough for me, so I kind of just like reverted back to the same old thing. So we're gonna do that right now. The sun has actually gone down a little bit, so I just turned on one of my overhead lights, so hopefully that's like a little bit better. But I ended up having to like go in and just like clean out my eyebrows a little bit with this brow razor. I didn't show it to you guys because I know that the way that I do it is incorrect. This is only the second time that I've done it, and the first time I sliced my eyebrows, so I would hate to like mislead anybody. So if you like want to learn how to clean your own eyebrows, if you don't already know how to do that, I would suggest watching like people that actually know what they're doing, because I don't. So I went ahead and zoomed you guys in, and I should have done this a long time ago, but it's okay. I'm just not starting with my makeup, so you haven't missed anything. I usually start with like a line at the bottom of my eyebrows just to kind of give me like an outline and like what to work with, and then I start brushing upwards kind of like in the direction of my natural eyebrows. And before, I used to put like so much of this pomade, and I think that was like 2016. I feel like we kind of all overdid it. I don't do that anymore because I want them to look as natural as possible. So hopefully this is what they look like. This looks kind of like a little bit heavy, but I usually brush them out after so it looks not as heavy. I was about to say my eyebrows are falling out, but it's just the ones that I just shaved off. And then my least favorite thing ever now is like boxy eyebrows, especially in the front. I hate it so much. So yeah, honestly for these, I'm not like creating any fancy shapes. I'm just filling in my eyebrows, kind of following the flow of like my natural brows. This looks good. This looks insane. Don't worry guys, I'm gonna brush it out. I didn't realize how bad it looked, but yeah. I was saying I'm gonna like rush out of here because we have an early dinner reservation at 5 p.m. We were gonna go to like our favorite restaurant these days when we go to Uptown Dallas, but we're gonna go to the Restoration Hardware restaurant, which I've actually never been there ever, and we always used to talk about trying it, so we're just gonna go ahead and try it today. And then maybe I can look at this from furniture while I'm there. We don't really need a lot of furniture for the house anymore. thank God. Most of the rooms are almost completely furnished, but we are yet to furnish the dining room. And then also I do want to get an accent chair for the living room. So that's like, those are the big furniture items. And then I actually want to film a tour of like my living room just to show you guys what it turned out like and where everything is from, because I love those kinds of videos. I find them especially helpful, so I'm gonna film one of those. Alright, so I'm done filling in my eyebrows and I'm just gonna go in with my concealer. And as usual, I'm going to be using my A-Lit Girl Pro Concealer. I still prefer that for my eyebrows, so I'm just going to get it in a second. And the color I'm going to be using on my eyebrows just because I think it's perfect. I used to use Beautiful Bronze, but I feel like I like Toast a little bit better. It gives me a little bit more precise line than Beautiful Blonde, just because I feel like that one is a little bit closer to my skin tone, which is a good thing sometimes, but just not what I'm trying to achieve. And then I also noticed, like, for my eyebrows to not look like too like painted on, so I get the line at the bottom pretty sharp, but I don't do like a very precise line at the top anymore like I used to do in the past. And then also I try to make sure that my concealer is blended down onto my eyelid versus just having like a very harsh concealer line under my eyebrows. And then I just blend that down. Also, it's kind of like two birds with one stone, because if I am wearing like eyeshadow, I feel like the concealer just helps my eyelid be more prepared for the eyeshadow, I guess. I like what that looks like. I think it looks a little bit more natural. And then I'm going to obviously go into the top. I stepped all the way up here just so like I can like brush my concealer down. And by the time I'm getting closer to my eyebrow, I don't have as much concealer on the brush anymore. And my favorite trick that I discovered now for not having super boxy eyebrows is actually to brush my eyebrow again after I put the concealer on the top. And I especially do that towards the front just because that's a part that I feel like can look a little bit too perfect, if you will, or like boxy. So we're gonna go in with our little brush, and this is from one of like my eyebrow pencils that I don't really like, but I like the little brush that it comes with. And this is just one of those regular spoolie brushes. You can use the one you use for your lashes. It does the same exact thing. And I'm done with this eyebrow. Hopefully you guys can see the difference like after I put on my concealer, but I'm just gonna move on to the other eyebrow real quick. Alright, now we're done with our eyebrows. I'm gonna go in with my favorite primer. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And I know sometimes like people put on their primer before they even start anything on their face. Personally, I like to do my eyebrows before my primer, just because I kind of feel like it's a little bit too slippery like whenever I put my primer on first. And so I do it this way because it's what works better for me and I just prefer it. And yeah, as far as primer, honestly, I think I may have even said it in like maybe the last makeup video that I filmed. I haven't found a primer that works better than the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and so I just continue to use it because if it's not broken, we don't need to fix it. Nice and tacky, just how I like. I'm gonna go in with my foundation, but first I'm gonna brush my eyelids. This is just like my extra step that I do to make sure my concealer is not so harsh and like nicely blended in before I even start my foundation. And I was actually gonna forget, I think I'm still gonna do like the Charlotte Tilbury under my foundation, just because honestly I like what it looks like. I'll include everything that I used down in this description box. Alrighty, and we're back. So I had said at the beginning of this video that I was going to talk to you guys about my life and kind of what's been happening, where I've been. It's not unusual for me to take breaks from YouTube. Most of the times in the past, it's usually because something happened and I just didn't have the capacity anymore, or I didn't have the motivation to do it anymore, and that it was usually because of like my work schedule and me not having time. And then I remember I also took like a really long break whenever I got pregnant with my daughter, just because I don't know, like I wasn't ready to share my journey with being pregnant, and I didn't want to be filming videos kind of like dodging the camera with my pregnancy. And honestly, what actually happened in the very beginning, because I was contemplating like sharing my pregnancy journey, but I feel like what happened in the beginning was just pregnancy exhaustion. Like if you've been pregnant before and you know what I'm talking about, my goodness, I feel like pregnancy exhaustion is something else. And at the time, it just felt like I could not nap enough, and any free time that I got, I just wanted to sleep. So I definitely did not see myself picking up the camera to film a video. And then like 1 month became 3 months, and then 3 months was 6 months, and then it just became a year. And finally, like from being pregnant and then I had her, our focus was just kind of like, you know, taking care of a newborn and trying to keep ourselves okay so we're able to like take care of a newborn. We don't really have like big family here in Dallas, so it was mostly just like my husband and I. So honestly, I just did not have the capacity for YouTube at the time. But I actually took a year, and then I came back after that, and we had bought our house and moved on to a house, and you know, life had gotten a little bit different, and then we have a kid now. So honestly, that was really it for right now. I was actually going to film like a separate video just talking about what I'm about to tell you guys and give you guys like this big life update, but I really do struggle with talking about things that happen in my life, especially like when they're negative and like they're a big deal. I really struggle even just like talking about it like with my friends. So I know like it would probably be like harder for me to talk about it on the internet, you know, like with I don't know who's watching. So I'm just gonna talk about it in this video, and I actually think it's a good idea for me to like talk about it now while I'm doing my makeup, so that I'm not in my feelings and I don't get like emotional. But what I wanted to talk to you about was basically just pregnancy loss, and if you saw the trigger warning at the beginning of this video, I'm going to go ahead and give the trigger warning right now. So I'm going to be talking about pregnancy loss and the loss of an unborn child. If that is triggering to you, I suggest maybe you like skip forward a little bit and, you know, just maybe catch on to like the rest of me doing my makeup, because I would hate to make anybody sad basically. So I'm now going in with my foundation. This is the NARS Radiant Longwear in the shade New Caledonia, and yeah, I just really miss my NARS foundation honestly, and I just wanted to, I don't know, oh my goodness, my skin is glowing, looks pretty good. Yeah, and I just wanted to remember again why I fell in love with it, especially after watching Makai, I hope I'm saying her name correctly, is it Mikai or Makai? But yeah, so almost 2 weeks ago, sorry, see, like I even already keep deflecting just because my brain is like struggling to even like bring myself to talk about it. But almost 2 weeks ago we found out we were pregnant, and I wasn't that far along. Oh gosh, this looks kind of orange, but you can see my hand, it doesn't look too bad actually, and I think it's going to resolve hopefully whenever I put on the concealer, because my concealer is pretty yellow. But almost 2 weeks ago, we found out we were pregnant, and we were ecstatic because we were wanting, and we felt like we were ready for another baby, which I know like most people usually say like, you know, you never know when you're ready, or sometimes you're really not ready. And I remember even like getting that advice whenever we were pregnant with our first child, and I just didn't feel like I was ready. And now I get why people say that, honestly. Even when you are ready, you're obviously not really ready, because it's like, it's something that's like unknown, right? I feel like with some things in life, you can be like truly ready and like truly prepared for it because you know exactly what it's going to turn out like. But I feel like pregnancy and childbirth is something that you can prepare for at the best of your ability, but you probably are not or cannot truly be ready, just because again, it's an unknown and things don't always go exactly as we plan. Like it's just not that black and white. So I found out like that other Tuesday that we were pregnant. We were of course very excited. I started cramping, was that like Saturday? That was like Saturday, and that was like when my period would have been due. So this was like a very early pregnancy. Long story short, I basically found out that we had a chemical pregnancy, which at the time when the cramping first started, I was hoping that was not what was happening. One second. So whenever I kind of started getting the cramping, I was hoping everything was okay, but I was still freaking out only because almost exactly to the day last year, we were pregnant again, and it kind of started the same way where I just started cramping and I started spotting. And I remember with the pregnancy last year, because I was a little bit further along, I was 12 weeks and 3 days or 4 days when it happened, I'm not exactly sure. I was 12 weeks and a few days after, and so it kind of started the same way. I was just cramping and I started spotting. We panicked, we called our OB, and we actually went in for an ultrasound. We saw that the baby was fine, there was a heartbeat, the baby was moving, and I remember my OB had said, you know, basically it was just going to resolve itself. She just thinks it's like, I'm trying to remember, I don't remember exactly what she called it, but basically kind of like either the cervix had moved or the uterus, something had moved down there, and basically she was not seeing like any fresh blood supply to the bleed whenever she did the ultrasound. So she said it was probably just gonna like resolve itself and it was gonna be fine. Except that did not happen. I remember like after leaving the OB, I was still kind of like spotting or whatever, and then we traveled to Chicago the next day. I was okay, and then I kind of just started cramping a lot again, and this time it felt like it was my period. Like, you know how you cramp when you get like a really bad period? Kind of felt like that, and I just knew something was wrong. And I remember that morning, my husband went into the office because he was working from Chicago, that's why we were there. And it just kind of got worse, and I remember I was with my toddler, and I just remember being like really bad pain, and I texted my husband like, I think something is wrong, you need to come right now. And by the time he got there, things had kind of just like worsened. We went to the ER. I'm not even gonna mention it because it's like a whole thing, but basically we went to the ER, the closest ER to us in downtown Chicago, one of the biggest hospitals. If you know what hospital I'm talking about, good, because they were pretty terrible. And I was basically just in the ER for an hour and a half, just bleeding, and I was like super lightheaded because I had lost a lot of blood. I'm not going to talk about this part because it's like kind of hard for me to talk about, but basically I had a complete miscarriage right over there in the waiting room, well really in the restroom, like while I was waiting to be seen by a doctor. That happened on the 24th of August last year, and then this miscarriage happened on the 20th of August. And I remember telling myself that whenever I found out that I was pregnant, like, you know, a week before the anniversary of like that very traumatic experience last year, I remember we were both very excited because we told ourselves, you know, like we won't spend a lot of our time being like really sad about what happened with the other pregnancy, and now we get to kind of basically focus on this new baby, and only for the same thing to happen again was just crazy to me. Like, what are the odds? And I like to say like I'm somebody with a lot of bad luck. I don't like to say that anymore because I kind of feel like sometimes when you speak like that, you kind of tend to like invite, you know, certain things, especially like negative things into your life. So I'm not gonna speak like that anymore. But what awful luck. Honestly, I still don't know. So we've been doing some testing. We've been doing some testing this past week just to kind of like try and figure out like if there's anything that's causing this to happen, because I mean, it's like obviously when it's like one time it's like okay, maybe it's just bad luck, but if it's happening like twice in a very similar pattern, maybe I don't know, we're just still trying to figure it out. Basically, I took another blood test like 2 days ago. I'm waiting for the results of that. That's just like blood testing just to see if there's like anything in the blood or if I have like any blood disorders that could be contributing to the pregnancy losses. But yeah, that's where we're at right now, and that's been our life. So I don't know, really. I just feel like whenever we do whenever we are ready for another baby, I hope everything goes well. And if you're somebody that's ever experienced pregnancy loss, my heart goes out to you, and I'm sending you strength. I know what it feels like. It really sucks. And let me drink some water. I was only supposed to be drinking water, but I ended up like eating ice. If you guys know the solution for this, even though I'm not sure that I want the solution, because I think it's harmless, but I know that eating ice constantly is not harmless. It's really bad for your teeth. It's a habit I developed when I was like pregnant with my daughter, and then it stopped, and then it just randomly came back last year, and then I stopped, and then I started again at the beginning of this year. But this time it's gotten like really bad. But I do remember when I was pregnant with my daughter the first time, I used to eat like 6 cups of ice in a day. Like, it was ridiculous. Anyways, I do want to stop. I think honestly that was it. And honestly, I want to take a little breather because I don't believe in crying on camera. Like, no, we're not gonna do that over here. You guys, this Skims top is amazing. I'm just wearing like the Skims Fits Everybody t-shirt in black. I love it. Whatever Kim put in her clothes, chef's kiss. Alright, yeah, so that's honestly what's been going on. I'm even surprised that I came on here to talk about it like a week after it happened. We're still healing through it. We're in therapy, thank goodness. And yeah, just kind of taking life by the day, I guess, and try not to get too down about it, and basically trying to be strong, really, in the best way that we possibly can. So I'm gonna get back to the makeup now. It's crazy, like I just talked about all this heavy stuff and I'm like, oh, now we're gonna get back to our makeup. So I'm gonna be using the Laura Mercier setting powder. This has been my setting powder for ages. I think this is, oh, this is actually the honey. I was gonna say it's like the regular one, but it's actually the honey. And yeah, I like this powder, honestly. I don't think I also like the one size powder, I'm not gonna lie, because I've tried a couple of other setting powders, and this one and the one size one are the ones I like the most. But if I had to pick one, definitely the Laura Mercier. And remember, you guys, I told you it was looking a little bit orange, but I know like all these things that you add onto your face after to like highlight kind of help. So I'm not gonna bake per se, but I am like pressing that into my face, even though I hate doing that with the beauty blender. So what I'm actually gonna do instead, this is a method I find that I like better, and it's just I use like this brush and then I just brush the excess powder away because we're not baking. And then my favorite thing that I discovered, and I kind of feel like it gives it a smoother appearance, is using this little powder puff. Thank you to my sister for introducing me to this combination. And then I just press that in to my face. I'm getting a headache, you guys. Also, I had started getting a lot of headaches with this pregnancy, like the past one, and it was one of the reasons I knew that something was off, because I was like, I had stopped getting migraines, but these are not even migraines, it was just like headaches. At first I kind of thought I was just getting them because it was like really hot in Texas, but I was like, something feels off, something just feels off. And I'm somebody, I know my body, like I feel like honestly I'm one of those people that I could be like 3 minutes pregnant and I would know that I was pregnant, because I don't know, I'm just so in tune with my body. And not only that, because I'm not gonna say like people that don't know are not in tune with their body, I just think that my body changes so much so fast to the point where I'm able to like tell a significant difference for whenever I do get pregnant. And I think that's why. Oh, I forgot to wear blush. Okay, so I'm gonna wear my blush. Hopefully it looks fine because I don't like wearing blush on top of powder. I don't like the way that it settles, but hopefully this is fine. And then the last time I did this, I put the blush on and I kind of feel like it erased everything that I had underneath. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. But yeah, don't be like me. Wear your blush like right after your concealer before you put on any powders, just because it sticks to your skin better. Like this is coming on, going onto the skin. It's a bit more pigmented on top of the powder, but it feels patchy to me and I don't like that. And hopefully it looks better, oh gosh, with some setting spray. I'm gonna put some setting spray. This is just the milk setting spray on the beauty blender. Hopefully that kind of helps my situation, because I don't like, oh gosh. Do you guys see this right here? This is what I was talking about, where it just goes and like takes out all the other layers of makeup that I had, and I don't like that. And that's why you should put it on right after your concealer. That was a big freaking mess. So I'm gonna, oh gosh, this is not going well, you guys. Do you see why I need to wear makeup more consistently? Because I feel like things like this happen. Whatever at this point, honestly. It's not doing what I needed to do. Okay, I have done the best that I could do with that situation. So I'm gonna go back in with my little brush just to kind of like set under my eyes again, and then help things not look so patchy, just because I forgot to wear my blush when I should have worn it. Okay, so this is where we've gotten to, and I try to think through like my makeup routine normally to see if there's like anything I'm forgetting. The only thing that I normally would do, but I think I had stopped doing that, especially when it was like really hot because I didn't want to wear so much makeup, was just like to contour a little bit. And honestly, I wouldn't even call this contouring. I feel like it's more like bronzing, and the bronzer that I'm using is Fenty Beauty's Mocha Mami. I've always used that since like 2020, and I haven't used anything else. The next step, I'm gonna put on like a finishing powder, but this is a MAC's Studio Fix powder, and I'm in the shade NW48. And then I'm gonna use this big buffing brush just to put that all over my face and to kind of help everything that we've just done to our face, you know, marry well together and live in harmony. And yeah, I like what this looks like so far. I'm debating if I should put anything on my eyelids, just because, I don't know, sometimes I like what my face looks like this, but I think I am gonna put something on my eyelids just because I want to take photos later today. And then, speaking of, I want to start posting on my Instagram. I probably said that before and I never did it, but I'm so serious, you guys. I'm going to start posting on my Instagram. I'm not really big, even though like you're watching this on my YouTube channel, I'm not really crazy about social media, especially like a platform like Instagram. I mainly go there to like consume content, and even then it's like I don't follow a lot of people. I don't know, I've just never really been crazy about it, basically. So that's why. But I'm gonna start posting on my Instagram seriously this time, you guys. Also, on my eyelids, I'm using the same Fenty Beauty Mocha Mami bronzer. I love what this looks like in my eyelid, you guys, especially when I'm kind of doing it just to like add color and, you know, to kind of like be like a good transition between my eyes and my eyebrows. I'm not sure if you can see the difference. Hopefully the camera is picking it up, like this eye and this side that I haven't done anything other than just like concealer and a little bit of powder. But I love this, and I think this is one of the best shades, honestly, on brown skin. So my eyes looking like, I love it. I try not to wear a lot of eyeshadow on my eyelids, especially when my lashes are done, just because I feel like they don't last as long. And honestly, most of that is like from trying to clean them out. It's just so much work to like make sure they're cleaned properly whenever there's so much eyeshadow and fallout into them. So I prefer this. And also, I'm a very simple girl when it comes to like eyeshadow, so this works for me. And for some pizzazz, I'm doing a bottom waterline. I just like what my eyes look like with it, even though, as you can clearly tell, my eyes are really watery. Okay, so my face is all done, and I'm just gonna finish up with my lips, and I'm gonna do my favorite combo for today, which is the chestnut lip liner and then the Dior lip glow oil in rosewood. I don't have my lip gloss with me right now because it's in my handbag downstairs that I forgot to bring up here. Last time I tried it, oh, this is actually like really pretty for fall. If it was just like, you know, full on fall right now, I would kind of leave it like that. But I'm gonna put on some lip gloss because summer gives me lip gloss vibes, and also I just kind of feel like a lip gloss kind of helps to like lighten up the makeup look a little bit. I'm just gonna put some setting spray on, and I'm gonna try to not get my hair wet just because I did straighten it before I started this video. And the setting spray I'm using is the Milk Hydro Grip setting spray. Favorite setting spray ever. I just like how it kind of has like a little bit of oil in it. I think it helps balance out like all that powderiness. Once I put on my lip gloss, this is gonna get much softer. I'm just gonna put a little bit, like a little bit of the Sephora. This is in the color Perfect Nude. It is not Perfect Nude on me because it is very pink and I am very brown, but I'm sure it's a perfect nude for somebody out there. And if anybody cares, the hair I'm wearing is from Yummy Hair Extensions. They have a store here in Dallas, but I did order it online. I've actually had this hair for a while. It was meant to be my wedding hair, and I like it, honestly. This is like the third, fourth time I've used it, and it still does pretty well. It's just gotten like a little bit thin over time, and I am in the market for trying out like some new hair. I was looking at some D Hair Boutique hair. If you live in Dallas, like, it makes sense because I feel like whenever Yummy Hair Extensions comes up, also it's like, you know, D Hair Boutique is right there. But I tried Yummy Hair Extensions, so I think I'm going to try D Hair Boutique this time, or another company called KSE Hair that I had seen on Jazz Turner on TikTok, because like it looked really good, and I want some hair with like a little bit more luster. Like, this is really soft and it blends in well with my natural hair. Like, I have my natural hair out here on top, and honestly I think it does a good job like blending in the two, but I do want to try some hair with a little bit more luster. So yeah, we have gotten to the end of this video. If you made it through to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, I would love it if you did, so you can be a part of this little family and catch up on my upcoming videos. Please, I don't know, like this video and comment anything that you may have for me down below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!